Let's see what this looks like. Pretty color. Okay, that came off. That sounds pretty good. Oh, what is that? Positive anti-reverse. Magnetic casting system. So that's good. Very positive. I think this is to take the cap off, but I don't know. There it goes. There it goes. Huh, comes right off. So that's a little different than a lot of the American models. It's a little bit of grease in there. So it allows you to take your spool out if you need to easily. Now this is supposed to be, said on the box, like 12 plus 1 on the bearings, which is pretty good for casting. Now this is obviously appears to be fresh water, as there's no rubber seal that I can see. Appears to be carbon fiber for some of the construction and aluminum for the rest of it. This is probably plastic. Has adjustable there. Huh. It's extremely tight. Like there's no play in the action at all. Huh. Wow. I have to try this and play with it out in the water to see how it really performs. But it feels pretty good construction. You can hear it does make some noise. But casting reels generally make a little more. We gotta move. So we moved so we could see this a little better. Gear ratio is 6.2 to 1. 12 pounds, 120 yards, 35 millimeters, 140 meters. Wow, that's pretty sensitive. The chrome job on this plastic button probably could be a little better. But the mechanics seem to be pretty solid. It does make a little more noise than I'm used to, but they put a cap over the screw. That's to help keep water off of it and lock it in. Probably has a lock mechanism inside that. Everything's oiled very well. Looks like a pretty good ring on the gear. This is got the holes in it, but it's not for braid, so you'd have to use braid, either mono backing or rubber band or whatever. But yeah, so that, once I know how to do it, comes right off. And that all looks pretty good construction. Definitely on par with any average casting reel. I don't know that I would pit this up against a high-end high-end casting reel, because I don't think it compares to that. But for a budget reel, I think this would be pretty good. It would definitely serve. And if it lasts a long time, I like the positivity of that. It just almost no touch. I'm hardly just, I mean, I'm just, that's pretty amazing. I like that. I like that positivity on a casting reel, because you want to be able to go pop, not even have to think about it. You don't want to have to think about it. Ugh. And I've had certain reels made with an A that were extremely difficult. This has an adjusting screw here too. I don't even know if mine has that. We'll see how this works. We'll see how it goes in the wild. It feels very tight. I mean, when I say that, I mean it doesn't spin without when it's in gear, it doesn't spin real easy. Like the gearing is, well, there it is. I don't know, maybe I had it, maybe I didn't have the button all the way off. That was probably what it was. I probably pushed the button part way. So let's see. No, now it's, yeah, it seems to be fine now. I was probably had the button not fully clicked. So yeah, it actually is, it sounds pretty good. You can hear the gears, but that's not untypical, because you got a gearbox in here. Pretty good size. This is a pretty good size gearbox. So 12 bearings plus 1, that's what it says. Who knows? I have to take it apart and find out, but I like it. It's got a nice feel to it, and it's the right weight. It's not too light, not too heavy. We'll just have to, I think this is probably carbon fiber. It looked like it from inside the from inside here. You can see this looks like a carbon high density plastic kind of thing. I don't know if it's carbon fiber or not. It doesn't necessarily look like it. But for a lot of these plastic reels today, there's a lot of them out there in the $50 and $60 range that don't look any different than this. So I think that's a good reel. That's a nice reel. I like that. Well, I am using the LV200 casting reel, and other than a couple of odd things like this knob is a little tight, I'll have to examine it and see if I can figure out why. It does move, it's just a little tight, which is your adjustment for making sure that it doesn't get away from you. You can tighten it down on windy days. And it's a little hard to turn, but it works, as you can see. So that would be on a windy day, and I'm going to back it off. I'm casting into the wind. I'll back it off just a little bit more. And then I got the magnetics set to 4 at the moment. I had it backed. I've tried it backed all the way off. I've tried it all the way on. All the way on helps if you have trouble with casting, but I like mine a lot. I like less magnetics and more with my thumb, because I can control what it's doing. I can feel it as the line's going out. So it casts really far, so I'm impressed with that, and it's super smooth reeling in. It's really nice. I think it's smoother than my Shimano, but my Shimano was 6 years old. So, I mean, if this thing was that smooth in 6 years, I'd be surprised. But, hey, you know, I would buy this. I would buy this for just generic bait casting, you need a backup reel, or you need a reel for an extra rod or something like that, I definitely would buy this. I feel like this feels better made than the Black Max. Now, I don't know, the old Black Max was worse than the new ones. The new ones are made better. I haven't tested one of those, but the older style Black Maxes that had so many problems, this is better than that. This feels really, really smooth. Everything is just like liquid. You push the button and turn it, it's like liquid butter. It's just nice. So I haven't tested the drag very well. In fact, I didn't set it. Wow, that's nice. It's tight drag and the knob is not super tight over here. That's good. I like that. I don't want to bump it, but at the same time, I want my drag set. I don't want to have, you know, it makes up for this. I mean, this is hard to turn, but you don't want this to be easy to turn. You don't want it to move. But the drag it's fairly smooth. It could be probably a little smoother. Yeah, that's about right. So, yeah, it's overall it's a good reel, and I would, you know, you go out and buy a Black Max for 50 bucks. This is a whole lot better value than that, because this is not a $50 reel, but Black Max is. So supposedly, this outperforms the Black Max in my opinion. Everything just feels good, and I was not impressed with the Black Max. And after going through 2 of them in 6 months, I really wasn't impressed with the Black Max. So yeah, this thing lasts for three months. It'll be doing better than the Black Max did. I mean, already the button feels better. It's the same kind of construction. It's the plastic. There's a few aluminum parts, but it's mostly plastic, chrome covered plastic, which is what the Black Max is. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the new ones are better. I'll give you that. But overall, I think it's a good deal. So, I'm impressed. I'm gonna have to retune my Shimano. It doesn't cast that good.